And here you see a beautiful painting of Michelangelo expressing the desire of the divine, your Father, to save you, to help you out. And it's working out. In Germany, we have had very great aggressive happenings. And that brought forth a devastating effect on the Western life, all over. The value systems were broken, the idea of dharma was disturbed, women started behaving like men, and so many people died. Very young people died, very, very young. All their desires were not fulfilled. All their life gave them nothing but war. That was a kind of a heat wave that came, destroying all the subtler things. When the nature gets its respite or is angry, it destroys only gross things. But when human beings start destroying, they destroy even the subtler things like your value system, your character, your chastity, your innocence, your forbearance. So now the war is on the subtler level. We have to now understand that all these things have brought such a shattering effect in the West, on the Western personality. So the first effort one has to do is to repair it, to put it straight, make it stand on its own legs. Because people lost their personality, their tradition. They had no moorings, no roots. And they started moving towards anything that was brought in as some sort of a intellectual experience. The women became very independent and they thought they can work out their own problems. That they thought they can become like men. Here the problem started, even in a worse way. Because woman is a woman, and a very little thing which is called a man in her. And when she tries to avoid what she has and develop something that she has very little, then she becomes funny. But she may be possessed by so many men who are dead. The desire to become manly can attract so many bhuts who want to enter into woman's mind. And when they enter, they have the garb of a woman and mind of a devil. And the women can not see it, because maybe with those devilish things in the worldly way they might be successful. They might be better off. Maybe they can dominate everyone. They might become meticulous like men, absolutely matter of fact, very neat, tidy, clean, devoid of all beauty and sweetness. Then these women ultimately become like vampires. So though the war is over, it is working through the women of Germany, I think. I had heard this attack had come before also, and there were women called as Amazonic. Now that history is repeating itself again. The other day I had an interview with a German lady, and I was amazed at her attitude, because I felt she is still a Nazi in her, some Nazi booth is sitting in her. She was a double personality. One way she was talking sweetly, another way she was a Nazi. And a fascist. Very cunningly, they have got arguments. The first thing they can do is to say that we are siding with downtrodden people, like India. Indians are Aryans, we are Aryans, and we are people who are sympathizing with the Aryans. Indians are spiritual people. And they feel they are like Indians, of all the things. Can you believe it? The quality of life should improve, is the point. The quality of men is different from that of women, I have told you many a times. And if women try to be manly, then they cannot achieve anything proper. We have had many like this. You have seen Mao's wife. You have seen Mrs. Chiang Kai-shek. Now this new lady, Carlos her name was, Marcos. So many women like that. They always make a mess of things when they try to be manly. In the history we have many women. In India, women are very well equipped. We have had women like Jhansi Ki Rani who fought against the British. She was a widow. She tied her child on her back and fought the British. They say that her horse jumped from 180 feet from the turret of a fort. And the Britishers have written down that though we have got Jhansi, the victory comes to us, but glory goes to Jhansi Ki Rani. We have had great women in India. Like Noor Jahan was another great woman. We had Chand Bibi, Ahilya Bai. But they were all women. They didn't have ego of men. When it comes to, one can work in the offices with men, but they need not become men. I'll tell you an example of my own. I had to build our house in Lucknow. I did it in a real woman style. And I built a very good house, better than any man could build, in a very, very cheap way. Like a man would go, first of all he'll get an architect. Go and measure everything, then he'll try to fit everything into it beforehand. Then he will in his ego go to some expensive place, shop, get something expensive, be cheated by that. Then again in his ego he'll go and get some very expensive labor and appoint somebody. He'll be in charge of everything, in charge. I did in a very different way. I had money, so went and found out who are the best people, who have the best bricks. The house was to be built by bricks. Then what else do you need? Just like a woman would cook her food, you see. You need also sand, all right? Then you need cement and you need iron bars and labor. So I didn't go the way men went round. I found out the man who was selling the best bricks. So he said, I have no money because I have to put up those kilns and fill them up with the bricks, and for that you require initial money. I said, all right, I'll buy one whole kiln from you, whole one. How much will you take from me? He said, 5,000 rupees sufficient. But he said, if the kiln goes off or there's something wrong with it, if it is misfired, then it is your lookout. I said, doesn't matter. You put one kiln in my name. So I bought a complete kiln from him, complete. Kiln is a thing where they put all the bricks, you see, and then cover it with mud and fire it from down below. Sometimes it could be that the whole thing can go into a waste or crumple down. I said, you do like that. Only 5,000. When it is nicely fired and all that, it would cost you nothing short of 50,000 rupees. Then I went to the river and I said, how much for a one part, as they call it, a big area of sand? They said, at this time, when it is summertime, it's very little. But in winter time, it will be quite a lot. A man would go, he'll say, all right, now you need so much, bring it now. Then you will need more, you bring it now. But I didn't do that. I said, summertime is a nice thing, cheap you are getting, why not buy the whole? So I bought the whole part, the whole area of that sand. All right. Then I went for the ironmongers. I said, now what about iron? They said, you have to order. But if you order in bulk, then we'll give you much cheaper. And cash down you have to pay so much. I said, all right. I ordered it. So it was all ready. Just like we do for cooking, you get everything ready-made, ready there. Then what we needed was wood. So they said wood will come from Nepal. I said, all right. What else? They said from any other forest it can come. So I went to a forest in the center of India called Jabalpur. There I ordered. The whole wood was cut, newly cut, And in an auction I bought a lot of wood from there. And I got all that there. Plus I got the marble from there. This marble was never used before, anywhere. I said, it's very simple. I can use this marble for everything. So I got marble and wood together from that place. Then the labor. Then I asked my friends if they knew any good workers who are good at masonry work. They said, yes, this one is good, that one is good. So I called all of them. I said, see, now you can stay with me in this house. And I'll feed you very well, and I'll give you food, and I'll look after you very well. So they all settled down with their family. And I used to cook for them. By cooking, I won them over. And they would do anything for me. Absolutely. They are so kind to me. They would produce new technique that they knew. They would produce an effect of marble out of the cement. All kinds of art that they had, they put there. So such a big house with 20 bedrooms and 5 drawing rooms, dining rooms was created within 1 year's time. Not only that, but the price of the house, nobody can believe, was 1/10 of the one that the architect would have taken. But it was all written so well, everything done so well, because I didn't know how to write accounts. So what I used to do, every day I used to say, all right, today I take out so much money. Then this much was spent. Like that I wrote every day. And not one single rupee was missing in that. So nobody could prosecute me, no problem. Otherwise all the officers who built their houses there had to go through lots of problems. Their income was taxed, this thing, nothing happened. And I got such a huge house made in such a little money. And such a house that people said that even Taj Mahal may fall down, this will not fall. Because I made a good foundation, everything, because I had bricks so cheap. The whole of the thing I bought for no price at all, and half of it I sold back because so much remaining. Then whatever I had bought, the sand, I brought it, sold half of it because I didn't need it at a double the price, so I got my sand free. The wood that I had brought from there, I got it properly chiseled out, and I had a little tank in which I put it, so the whole thing became absolutely, weatherproof. I got it out, and half of it I used, half of it only, for 100 windows and 60 doors, and the rest of it I sold. And even the chips were sold as burning for wood. You see, burning wood, what you call that. So you can imagine, something was sold as timber and some for the hearths. But I had to do cooking for them. I had to look after their comfort. I got them nice blankets and nice beds to sleep and this and that, so they were very happy. That's how a woman works out. And everybody was amazed. They could not find any faults with my accounts. They could not find faults with anything. And I told all my husband's friends to keep 5 miles away from me. Because he was working with the Prime Minister. People would have said that, all right, she's taking bribes and things like that. Then there was another problem was that they would have come and told me this not good, that not good. I kept them out because only they can argue. Men can only argue. Women produce the results. No conferences, nothing. I said, nothing doing. Let me do the job myself. Very nicely in the company of all these people, I built the house, a beautiful house, which I think they have taken a film, and you might be able to see the house that I built. So when the woman who is a Sahajogini must develop her these special qualities, because she is very intuitive, woman is very intuitive. She always reaches the right conclusion in no time. If she is a woman, but if she is half man and a little of a woman, then I don't know what sort of a thing it is. So a woman should try to be a woman. She is so powerful. She is powerful like this Mother Earth, who can bear every sort of thing, and she can give the best that is with her. Extremely sacrificing, extremely giving, forbearing, loving, forgiving. When men develop the woman's quality, then they become saints. But not the woman's quality that they run after women. This kind of a nonsense is not there. They have to be veeras, they have to be chivalrous people, they have to be brave. They have to be brave, but with that they have to develop compassion, forgiveness. But I think it is the other way around in Germany very much, and I find around also among Western Sahajogis this is a very common affair going on. Women develop horrible egos. In India, women work. Everything they do. We have had great orators since long time, well known. But they don't have ego. My mother was honors in those days when there were only 2 or 3 women who had done such a degree, but I never saw her with any ego in her. My own daughters, one of them has done architecture and also interior decoration. She's not now working because her husband is working all right. But she makes houses for others, she draws for others, she helps others freely. And she has such friends. So what is the achievement of a woman? She has more people around her. Human power. She has more human beings around her. And what is the capacity of men? They have all the bills of the house to be paid. They have to pay for the insurance, the repairs of the car. Let them do the dirty jobs. Women receive all the love letters from the children, from the husband, from everyone. They are loved. They are cared for. Now, because they are become manly, they don't have all these advantages. Like formerly, if you are going in a bus, they would give a seat to a lady. Now nobody does that. Once a lady was traveling, old lady, and there was one young fellow sitting there. I said, why don't you allow her to sit down? He said, why should I? She's also wearing a pant, I'm also wearing a pant. This old lady was wearing trousers. So he said, why should I give her seat? She's wearing a trouser, I'm wearing a trouser. What's the difference? So all that is our advantage and privilege we are losing by becoming men. And what do we gain? What do we gain? Actually, on the contrary, I think in modern days, women are much more slaves of men than they were before. They get very upset. Say there's a Sahajogini. Now she's caught up very badly and she has certain problems. First thing she'll think about, oh God, now my husband will leave me, he'll take away my children, where will I do? She'll never think of Sahajog. But I met one extraordinary woman. I must say she was a real woman. She said, Mother, because I'm schizophrenic, I want to get out of Sahaja. I'll divorce my husband. I don't want to see my children. Sahaja is much more important than me, than my husband and my children. That's a woman, I said. She said, I am schizophrenic from childhood. I have discovered it now, and it comes back again. But mostly women are worried about themselves. Oh God, I'll have to leave my husband. Means what they were doing was to sponge on the husband. I'll have to leave my children. What about leaving Sahaja Yoga? If you think Sahaja Yoga is the most important, you can get rid of your schizophrenia also. Why should God help you? You are just thinking like ordinary women about yourself, only worried about yourself. Not worried about Sahaja. Same with some men, but men are not so much frightened because they think they can stand on their legs. And women should also know now they are Sahajoginis, that they are Sahajoginis, and mother is going to look after them. But if you are worried about yourself only, your husband, my house, my children, then you are a gone case. You are no more a woman now. It's not a sign of a good woman. A woman is that who loves all the children. Her loving capacity is great. But if she becomes miserly, if she becomes small-minded, then she is not a woman. I told you about my granddaughters. I asked them, what do you want to be? They were very small. So they said, we want to be a nurse or an air hostess. So I said, why? What is so great about these jobs? They said, grandmother, in these two jobs only you can feed people. There's no other job in which you can really feed others. The joy of feeding others is greater than writing files in the office. Absolutely, I tell you. It's a horrid job to write files in the office. It's better to do some nice cooking, thinking so many are going to eat and enjoy it, than to do this dirty job. But women have lost their heads. They are not level-headed now. Become stupid. Now in Germany you have to be very careful. In Austria you have to be very careful. Austrian women are great, but I would say German women. That you don't try to become men. First of all, the best way to stop it is not to talk too much. If you start talking like men, then all the bhoots will enter into you and start talking like men only. And then you will see how the men are controlled. We Indian women know how to control our men much better than you do. Why we don't have divorces? Why we don't have problems? We quarrel, all right, doesn't matter. But our men don't run after another woman. We don't dress up, so much. We don't go to hairdressers. We don't have this beauty aids, all that. So develop your self-respect. You are the Shakti. You are the power. If you make your men cabbages, what sort of children you will have? Cabbages only. Respect them. Make them men. Enjoy their manliness. Then they'll never give you up. There's no competition between the two. I find the main problem today in Germany is that the women have lost their senses. This is, I feel, absolutely about German women. Take to music, take to art. So much scope is there. Today, who is remembered? See, in here, who is remembered? A musician, Mozart. Everyone remembers Mozart. Even on a chocolate, you'll find a Mozart there. I don't know, poor thing, did he ever eat any chocolates or not? Or they will remember, see here, they have Michelangelo, or they'll have Leonardo da Vinci, or they'll have somebody like that. Nobody remembers who was the officer at that time. running with the file up and down. So women have something that they can be of eternal value, that they should develop. The greatest thing is that woman can love and love and love. But when she becomes selfish and self-centered, starts worrying about herself, there's no beauty in her love. Today I took it up special this thing because today you are worshipping me as Kartikeya. Kartikeya was the son of Parvati Uma. Who was just a mother of these two children, Ganesha and Kartikeya. And one day, the parents, Shankara and Parvati, both of them said, out of you two, the one who goes around the Mother Earth first time will get a special prize. So Kartikeya was the manly power, absolutely. And he said, all right, I'll start on his own conveyance, which was a peacock. Ganesha said to himself, now look at me, I am a little boy. I am not like him, and my conveyance is a little mouse. How will I manage? But then he thought, my mother is higher than the whole universe. What is this Mother Earth? So this Kartikeya was out, going round the Mother Earth. Sri Ganesha went round his mother 3 times. And he got the prize. Because of that motherly qualities, for him, she is the highest, even higher than Sadashiva. But surprisingly, that is what Sadashiva likes, that you respect your mother, the motherhood in you, the womanhood in you. Yatra narya pujjante tatra ramante devata. Where the women are respectable and respected, there the gods reside. Women are very important. Of course, I must blame the Western men also, the way they have ill-treated their women, have kept out of religion, have always put them down. I mean, India we had Muslims doing that, but they are even very sophisticated aggressors. And they did it very badly and they kept all of them down. But it doesn't matter. Still, forgive them and try to be women, very powerful. The powers of a woman are that of love, which are the powers of God. And that is to be used, than to use other argumentative, intellectualism, all nonsense. Don't waste your energy with that. I would like, especially the Sahajoginis of Germany, to become more and more ladylike. It doesn't mean good cooking only, but in the attitude towards life. To think in a wider way, that the whole Sahaja depends on our love capacity. We have to be extremely loving, extremely kind, looking after Sahajogis, giving them all the joy that is possible. Otherwise, in this country, they can become like vampires. So be very careful. And for men also, I would say, if there are women of that kind, you must respect them. You must give them all their privileges. Look after them. They look after children, but give them all the assistance, all the money that is needed by them. Do not ask for accounts and things. Let them manage it. At the most, you will become bankrupt. As it is, you are. But first see what is their attitude towards Sahaja Yoga is. I've seen in the families where the women are in charge of the purse, always we get much more money for Sahaja Yoga work than from the houses where the men are in control. It's very surprising. When men are in control, they have to think of their car, they have to think of many big things. But when women are in control, they know how to save money, as I have shown you how I have saved money. Men can never save. They can never save money. Only the women can save, but if they have a larger interest. Otherwise, if they are self-indulgent, they will finish off all the money. By going into the shop to buy a shirt for a man, they will buy all saris for themselves. They can do like that. But if they have wider interest, if they have greater interest, they can use money so cleverly that they'll have always money to spend for others. What do I do? Whatever my husband gives me to run the house is quite a lot, I should say. But I stinge on things. I go to the main markets, get things from there, try to save money on that, save here, save on my clothes. First time I have given my sweaters for dry cleaning in a good shop. That's how a woman saves, and then she spends for a general good. Because that is her real satisfaction. If we develop that kind of a balanced view about our married life, about our social life, we will be ideal people in this world. About school also, I have said it very clearly. Now if you want to hear about it, I would request, have you got that pamphlet with you? Wanted to read it. Huh? No, you don't have. That's just like men. They themselves said they would like to read it here, you see. If you ask men to do the cooking, everything will be missing. So,
Shri Mataji, may I most respectfully ask you, is there any advantage at all in being a man?
without the man, woman cannot express herself. She cannot express. Because she is the potential. He is the kinetic. It's absolutely relative terminology. You cannot exist without a man. You cannot. Even if you have all the fragrance in the Mother Earth, unless and until you have the flowers, how will you know there is fragrance in Mother Earth? Men are most important, otherwise what will they do? All their energy will be all rotten. So if women are the Mother Earth, you are the flowers. Advantage what? You are the people who everybody sees you.
Running around like Kartikeya.
What can we do? You are like that. You cannot sit at home. You cannot, even in the train, if you are going, you'll find as soon as the train will start, all the men will get out of the train. They can't sit there. Like, I told my husband, what is this all the time you are running out of the house? Why can't you sit in the house for some time? You must sit. So he said, no, in our side, if any man sits in the house, is called as ghar ghusna, means who is all the time in the house, you see. And I said, what do they call to a man who always runs away from the house? Ghar bhagna, means the runner away, who runs away. There should be something in between. But that's manly, it's all right. But we can, with Sahaja Yoga, what we can do is to form a little balance between both the things. That is what Sahaja Yoga is, that it gives a balance. Then you start enjoying each other's company so much that even in the house you enjoy, outside also enjoy. So you can be together inside the house, also outside. The interests are the same, because the interest becomes the same. Like the flowers who fall on the Mother Earth, make the Mother Earth fragrant, and then we can say that Mother Earth is pregnant. As beautiful as that. All right. So for education I have already given instructions, and I have already talked about it, that we are not to make a big ado out of this Maria Montessori and this and that. We are going to have Sahaja Yoga schools. All nonsense. Because I have seen those who are teaching in Maria Montessori style, the women have become horrible. I was amazed the amount of ego they have developed in themselves. So you become Sahaja Yoga teachers. And it's going to be a Sahaja Yoga school. In Sydney or in Melbourne, we started the school in Melbourne very nicely. And now they are going to have it in Sydney the same way. And openly it is a Sahaja Yoga school. There's no fear about it. Openly it's a Sahaja Yoga school, and then people have achieved so much out of it. Why should we take any garb like that? We should go all out to say it's a Sahaja Yoga school. So you, the teachers, also become experts in Sahaja Yoga, so that they have to be good Sahaja Yogis, Yoginis or Sahaja Yogis. They should not be egoistical. There should be no ego in them. They should not be catching. Anybody who is catching is not a good teacher for Sahaja Yoga. It's not like in a Maria Montessori school that in the night the teacher drinks, smokes, and morning time she is a Maria Montessori teacher. Here you have to be a Sahaja Yogini first, and then only you can teach in a Sahaja Yoga school. You have to have that quality. That is very important, as it is important that we should get students who are realized souls or who can get realization. All right. So today's puja is specially for Kartikeya. Kartikeya represents the great, we can see the captain or the leader of all the ganas, of all the, like a commander-in-chief. Ganesha is the king, but he is the commander-in-chief. And because German character is to be in command of everything, we are going to have this puja where the men will be in command of their spirits and their manly qualities, and women will be in command of their womanly qualities. To be in command is different from to be a master. Master owns it. A commander does not own it. He does not own it. That is also lost. Possession is also lost. You just command it. And that is the state we have to come to now, from Ganesha state to the state of Kartikeya, the other way round. Ganesha is nice, he's the king, very nicely sitting down with all the powers. All right? Innocence is there. But Kartikeya is the one who commands innocence, gives you a power of that commandment. He commands. After the Guru Puja, it's better that we should have the power to command others. And that commanding spirit comes in the men through their talking, through their dynamism, through their personal achievements for the women through their loving power, through their forbearance, through their gracious behavior, forgiveness, compassion. So let us develop that today, that we can command it. Means it's not that what we have, but in a position we are to command. I hope you understand what is Kartikeya. May God bless you.